What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Happy Sunday. I hope you guys have had a great weekend so far. I do want to apologize for no video yesterday. Your boy just had a lot going on lately, and I needed a day off from the videos. So no free picks yesterday, unfortunately. Today we do have a good NBA slate. So a lot of games that are very competitive, which is the first one in a few days that we can actually say that. Coming off of our last YouTube video. So first of all, you guys already know we're going to be picking a winner here in a minute to win free VIP. But coming off of our free picks, we swept the board. So we went 4-0 that day. And I gave you guys a nice 4x slip on underdog. So right here, I gave you this for free. It was Diabate with Siakam. It's a 4.5x if you played it with your boost. And that was $50 to win $225. Now, before we jump into these picks and everything, I do want to try to give you guys more free sauce. And I think I said this in the last video, and you, at this point might be beating a dead horse. I want to let you guys understand that taking advantage of promos and boosts and things like that are going to be your best bet to build a bankroll. If you are somebody with less than $1,000 in your bankroll or less than $2,000 even, I highly recommend you just take some money and put it in a couple of different apps and take advantage of the promos. An example here is Underdog. Underdog has the best two-man odds. If you play a two-man parlay, it becomes a 3.5x. That is better than any platform across the board. You throw in a 40% boost, and you have a 4.5x payout on two-man slips. We are on a heater. I have cashed the last 3 slips I posted on Chalkboard. I have cashed the last 3 slips that I have posted on Underdog, and we've cashed like, I don't know how many aces hit in a row on Sleeper. So we've been dominating these boosts, these payout boosts, and it is a great way to make us, if you were trying to turn this into a side hustle, this is where I would start. And I am not saying play 4.5x plays every single time. I'm definitely not saying that. I'm just saying take advantage of the 40% boost on some platforms, take advantage of all these things on all these different apps. So we've hit 2 in a row. Both of these are from the day before yesterday. I had Towns and DeJounte Murray, 50 for 225. I had the Diabate Siakam play I gave you guys for free on YouTube, 50 for 225. I played this yesterday. I took Desmond Bane, and I played him with Michael Porter Jr. Now, these are the 2 picks I had lined up for free picks before I ended up not being able to get the video out. So it sucks that I didn't get it out because that was a nice 3.5x yesterday as well. I put like a quarter unit on at 75 to win 262. This is this other free pick I gave you from the other day. We took Jason Tatum, 14.5 points and assists. That one was free. Played it with Brunson assists, which was also free, and it was a $500 play for $975. Other than that, guys, we've been crushing Chalkboard. Like I said, there's a nice little double up. We've been crushing our college basketball money lines, and then we've been dominating Sleeper. So there's VCU to win on Sleeper, and then you can see all these little 2-man, 3-mans, 4-mans on college basketball and NBA. So we got March Madness, obviously. If you guys aren't in the Discord for that, highly recommend you guys join. We'd love to have you in the Discord. The Discord itself is free to join. If you guys do want to get every single play that I post, you just got to go through the WAP, man. Right now, it does say code NBA for 20% off, but there's another code. So if you've already used code NBA, you can now use code MLB, and you can get 20% off of every single one of our packages on WAP. We'd love to have you in there. It's only $10 a week or $25 a month. Very, very good value. And if you guys want to get in there for even cheaper, just use the code. So we'd love to have you in there. But that being said, let's go ahead and jump into our free winner from yesterday. So you guys know I do this in every video. If this video gets 250 likes, I will select a random comment down in the comments to win a free month of VIP. If we don't hit 250 likes, then I don't pick a winner. So make sure you guys are hitting the like button. You got to be a subscriber to win. Make sure you guys are subscribed if you're not already. I would appreciate it. And let's pick our winner from yesterday, or from the day before. So the winner is going to be for Ivan Alvarado, who said, let's have a great weekend, brother. Well, Ivan, I hope you had a great weekend. Or if it's Ivan, I'm sorry, man. It's Ivan or Ivan. Either way, man, I hope you had a great weekend too as well. Hope you had a great weekend too. Send me a message on Discord. I'll get you added for that free VIP. And let's go ahead and talk about some of these picks, some of these games. We're obviously going to do our player props first. And yeah, one more thing. I had somebody post something in our Discord last night, and it touched my heart. And this is the second one that I've had in the last like week and a half that has posted this. So I'm going to show you. So first of all, shout out to Amber. Amber has been in the Discord for a long time. And she's posted last night, courtesy of Fantasy Ace and Ryan Fantasy Aces and all my mods, no MF and cap, this cord paying for my new whip. So I see things like this, and, you know, it makes you feel good. Now, I obviously know that we didn't completely pay for this whip for her. Obviously, she's a hardworking woman, and she is making her own money. But to be able to even add to that and be able to have a positive impact on somebody's lives, it means a lot. But anyways, shout out to Amber, and let's go ahead and talk about these player props. So, first player prop of the day that I have, and we'll talk about money lines afterwards. You guys know the order of operations here. But we're going to take our man Jason Tatum again. And the reason being is this game is so competitive. You have Boston and Cleveland today. This game can honestly go either way. I'm honestly leading towards Boston here, but I like Jason Tatum tonight again. I think last game, his line was way too low, and I feel the same thing about this tonight. His points line right now, plus money, is 17.5. Now, that line's kind of tough. Certain platforms have a lot of boost right now for Tatum, including Parlay Play. Parlay Play has Tatum's points at 14.5 boosted for a 1.5x. I absolutely love this line. 15 points for Tatum is very, very low, especially for the minutes he played. You look at his minutes from last game. The only game this season, obviously, if you're new to the NBA, he has been injured. He just come off his injury last week or last game 2 days ago, and he played his first game for the season, coming off of Achilles injury. But you can see he played 27.2 minutes. Homie played 27. I expected 20 to 22. That was my thought, and his line was, I thought, was low for 20 to 22 minutes. So giving him 27 minutes, those lines were crazy. He shot 16 shots and 8 3-pointers in that, and had, what was his RA that game? Let's see here, like 19 or something. So rebounds, assists, 19. He had 12 rebounds and 7 assists. Tatum is a stat sheet guy. He can have a double-double or a triple-double every game. He can get 10 assists. He can get 10 boards. He can get 40 points. Tatum can do it all, and his lines being as low as they are, to me, is just, you're getting such good value here. So Tatum's rebound and assist line is 12.5 at plus 102. I love this line, man. You can get him at plus money on a few different platforms. Not very many are going to offer you this for a reason, because the line is very good. So I like Tatum at 12.5 rebounds and assists. One of my favorite props of the day, but I also like him at 15 points. So we're going to definitely be playing this Parlay Play boost. If you guys haven't signed up for Parlay Play, use code FANTASYACES. They'll give you $5 for free to bet with. So if you don't even have any money in there and don't want to deposit, if you just sign up for the app and use our code, they're going to give you $5, and you can place it on this bet yourself. But if you make a deposit of $10 or more, then you'll get a deposit match as well, and you get free VIP. So just let me know if that happens. You can do that for any app in the description. There's 8 apps there. Each app gives you a free month, so you can get up to 8 months for free. But Tatum for 15 points, great line. We can look at his, like I said, I mean, he has 16 field goal attempts. If you want to look at it from last season, he had 15 points in pretty much every single game. Shot 21 field goal attempts per game, 10 threes. Like, the dude's going to take his shot attempts. Being back a part of this lineup, this Boston team is going to be a monster. Now, they're playing against Cleveland. We can look at some of Cleveland's injuries. First of all, Vucevic is out for Boston. That's the only injury we have. You look at Cleveland, missing Jared Allen tonight. They do have Donovan Mitchell back. Proctor's out, Strus is out, Jalen Tyson's questionable, and Dean Wade is probable. So missing a few key pieces to this team, and potentially others. So for me, it's I got to roll with the Celtics. The Celtics have been that strong, and I don't know why I'm talking about money lines right now. I just got a little bit ahead of myself, but I think the Celtics are going to win this game, and I think Tatum's going to be a key piece. So I think you can play his PRA. I think you can play any of his props at the lines they're at now, and none of them are going to be a bad bet. But my favorites today are just going to be his points at 15, because that line is boosted and it's a great line. And I like his RA at 12.5. Now, if you want to play his RA on underdog, you could probably get a 3.5x slip with that, like I've been doing, and you could probably get a parlay or a parlay boost today for like 40%. So if you play it that way, you can probably play Tatum with another line and have another 4.5x, which is going to be insane value on a two-man pick. So if you want to do that, you can. You can straight bet them if you want to, but I'm going to be locking in Tatum's points over here at 14.5 on Parlay Play, and we'll lock it in live here in just a minute. And that is going to be prop number 1. For prop number 2, who am I going to pair it with? It's going to be from the Cavs side of things. So we're going to click this Cleveland team. We're going to go to this lineup. I'm taking Harden's assists. Now, Harden's assist was it's a line that chalked us last time. I think we played him when he had 4 assists, and we played him when he had 9 assists. So I took him versus the Knicks, and I took him versus OKC. He sold us. He sold us one, cashed us the other. Last game he had 7 assists versus Detroit. Now, this is the game versus Boston. Boston has a strong defense, but Harden's going to have to step it up, man. He is. They can win this game. They're playing at home, and Mitchell is back. So Harden's got his other lead scorer back. He can facilitate to Mitchell easily. Harden's a playmaker. He can do it all as well. 8 assists is not a lot for Harden. Harden last season cashed 8 assists, 62% of games. This season he's cashed at 57%. Head-to-head versus the Celtics, he's cashed it in 3 straight. He has 2 games this season. Obviously, one game he was playing for the Clippers, and I think both games he was playing for the Clippers, and he had 8 and he had 12 assists in both those games. I think that he has a better roster to rack up assists than he even did for the Clippers, because who knows even if Kawhi was playing in these games. So I think he definitely has more opportunities here in Cleveland, and I do think 8 assists is going to be low for this game. So you can lock in 7.5 assists pretty much across your favorite sports book at almost even odds if you wanted to straight bet it. Or you can play it in a parlay, and you can get yourself a nice little payout as well. So I'll lock in Harden with Tatum right here, 7.5 assists. And actually, before I lock this in, I am actually going to pull this up on Underdog on my phone real quick because I'm not logged in on my PC. And I'm going to see if we can actually get a nice payout on this one. So let's see. I'm going to pull up this first game of the day. Is Boston-Cleveland. Tatum's points on Underdog right now are sitting at 16.5, and that's at 0.8x. So obviously that's not a line we would take for regular value. So his rebounding assists, you can get Tatum at 12.5, and then Harden assists. Let's see here, 7.5, and that gives you a 3.2x. So right now you can play a 3.2x for this slip if you play Tatum on his rebounds and assist line. So you can do that if you prefer. A 3.2x is obviously far superior to this 2.45x, but you also have Tatum at plus money at 12.5. So the value is not going to be quite as good in terms of getting a nice little boost for Tatum. So not sure what I want to do here. We can actually take this and we can run Harden for like 5.5 assists and still, or 6.5 assists and still have a 1.9x. So I may end up running Harden at 7 assists and 8 assists. I know that's risky. I don't love doing that, but I think for this slip on parlay play, on these apps that are giving me like payout boosts and stuff, I'm just going to play double ups. But when parlay play is going to give me like these great value at 3.5x, or Underdog, I think I'm just going to run it that way. So we're going to run the 250 right here for a 1.9x on parlay play, and then I'm going to run Tatum RA on Underdog because the value is so good for a two-man. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take advantage of these boosts. So that's going to be pick number 1, or slip number 1, if you guys want to lock it in. 250 to win 475. We had Jason Tatum with James Harden. I'm going to hit refresh here so you know it's legit, and there you go. That is going to be slip number 1 of the day. If you guys do want to run it, you can see his potential assists over his last 10 games. You're looking at 13.5, so decent amount of assist volume here for Harden, and I like him in this matchup, so I'm going to be locking him in. Next pick of the day that we have is going to be from the Knicks side of things. Now, let me find the Knicks game if I can just click it. You know what? We're just going to click props, and you can type in players. So you can do that either way that you want. You can either click the game, or you can just come over here and type in their name. So we're going to take Brunson. Obviously, Brunson plays for the Knicks. They're playing in LA tonight versus the Lakers. I think this is their first game of the season. Let me see. They played one game back on February 1st. So second game of the season they played. Now, there are a couple of lines for Brunson. Right now, Brunson's assist line is 7.5. You can get him at 6.5 for a good payout. If you play him at 6.5, you got like minus 170 across most apps, minus 160 on parlay play. His points and assists is boosted, first of all, and you can play his assist line at 6.5 or 1.5x, which is a pretty good value, and in my opinion, I like this. But either way, points and assists or assists, let's look at both. So his assist line, Brunson has been a facilitator lately. He has 21 and 22 potential assists in his last 2 games with 15 assists in those games. Brunson has cashed this line 6 of his 10. 10 of his last 20. He's cashed it 48% in the season. He has a 100% hit rate versus the Lakers, having 13 in his last game. In the last 2 games, he had 7 and 10. So I do expect Brunson to cash his assist line. 7 assists is not a lot. He can give that to us at any point in time. Lakers give up a lot of assists, even to I'm pretty sure to guards. Yeah, so point guards give 21st in the league in terms of assists per game. Both these teams almost fully healthy. LeBron is questionable. Kleber is questionable. The Knicks are missing McBride, and they have Landry here, who is questionable. But other than that, these teams are pretty much good to go, fully healthy. Now, Brunson can have a game where he scores and pops off in points at any point in time. He had 9 points his last game. He shot 13 attempts. Brunson's shot volume has been way down compared to what it was at the beginning of the season. At the beginning of the season, Brunson was dropping way more field goal attempts, averaging 20. You can see over 20 in a lot of these games, and it has significantly dropped off. Now, I also feel like this line could be a trap. A trap for, like, I'm talking about the opposite. Like, Brunson could pop off today. I don't know why I just had that feeling like Brunson is just going to do the opposite of what he's been doing lately. Like, people are going to expect Brunson to kind of, okay, you're going to get 15 or 16 field goal attempts, and then he's going to be facilitating, and people are going to be taking his assist line probably because he's been getting 15 assists per game, and the line's only 7. Like, oh, that's free bread. And then Brunson's going to do the opposite, and he's going to have 3 assists, and he can have 40 points. That can 100% be the game script. So, if that happens, it is much better to take his points and assists if you think that happens. And I think there is a decent possibility that happens. But if it doesn't happen, this assist line is like people are going to expect. Could be free. Because, like I said, he's been getting 20-plus potential assists per game. And this is versus a team that gives up a lot of assists. So I think either of these lines are great. You can take his points and his assists at 29.5, or you can just take his assists at 6.5. For parlay play, and I'm going to tell you why. Brunson 6.5 assists is going to be pretty much the same value across other sports books. And if they're not, you can just come back and run it. I'm going to run his points and assists because it's boosted. Since it is on parlay play, this is the only place it's boosted at for this line. I think the best bet would be to take Brunson right now at points and assists. If he chalks this slip, it is what it is. There's no getting out of it. But if you run his assists as well, you can make your money back. Now, if he chalks both and just has a horrendous game and they get blown out by the Lakers or something, then I'm sorry. But I don't think that's going to happen. And Brunson not giving up. Brunson cashes either points or he cashes assists. I don't think there's a game where he doesn't do at least one of those. So I think playing both sides is okay. I think you can cash both, especially this line where points and assists, because if he gives us 30 points, he cashes this line without any assists. And then if he gives us 10 assists and 20 points, then you see what I'm saying? Like this is a very good line right here, in my opinion. So I like the points and assists a little bit better, but I do like his assist line at 6.5 too. I think that's a great line, and I will be playing both. So if you just want to play the assist over points and assists, I don't blame you. But like I said, this game script, I think, could be a spot where Brunson ends up just taking more shot volume than he has, because I feel like we get trolled sometimes by these sports books and by these NBA players. Like, oh, I dropped 13 field goal attempts my last game. Let's double it this time. So that's all I'm going to say. Jalen Brunson, I like him, and if you want to lock him in, there you go. Now, who am I going to pair Brunson with? I'm pairing him with our boy Precious. I'm taking Precious from the Kings. Taking him versus Chicago. He has been popping off as of lately. This is another line that you can play on underdog at 25.5 and have a regular line. He has had 40-plus PRA in 2 of his last 4 games. Dude has been a beast. This is one of the best matchups he can possibly get. This team, honestly, if Giddey and Buzelis or one of the two sit, I think the Kings can beat Chicago tonight. And if Giddey and Buzelis both play, I think the Bulls probably win. But I do think Sacramento can win this game. And this game is very competitive, and I think that it's going to be very high, or not going to say very high scoring, but I think it's going to be pretty fast-paced, and I think Precious here is in a good matchup. So 25.5 PRA for the way he's been playing. I know he's only cashed it 4 of his last 10, only 2 of his last 20. You got to look at his minutes as well. He was getting like 20 minutes per game. Lately, he's been playing high 30s. He has been playing so well that he's going to continue to get big minutes. If you give him 30-plus minutes, 25 PRA on a team that really doesn't do much. Like, you would think DeRozan and Westbrook would like be able to pop off on this roster because they're the veterans and they've had their seasons where they pop off, but they have not been doing it. I think it's been expecting them to be like just completely crushing it. And you can look here, PRA and PRA. Like, Westbrook he's been decent, but he has a lot of games he just takes off as well. So Westbrook is very inconsistent. But regardless, Reynald and Precious here have been 2 of the guys I've been looking at for this King side of things. Right now, I like Achiuwa, Precious, and I like him at 25.5 points, rebounds, and assists if you want to lock it in. Now, if we're going to play it on parlay play, I don't think taking Precious for a regular line is going to be the move, because if that's the case, you just go play it on underdog and get better value. So we're going to take him probably at a discounted line. 24.5 is still, let's see here. I'm going to play the discount. We're going to try to make this a double up at some way. 11.5 points puts you at a 1.78x. Don't necessarily like just the 1.8x, but that might be what we end up playing. 14.5 points and assists. We can take a look at his points and assists and see how well we like it. At 14.5, I mean, he's been crushing this as well. He gets he had 30 points his last couple of games. So we'll play his points and assists on parlay play, and then we'll play his PRA on underdog. We'll do it that way. So 250, cash us out right here for a double up. Let's lock it in. So that's what I got for today, guys, in terms of player props. Take a look at these 2 slips one more time, and your boy just did receive a text. Let me make sure it's not. Okay. All right, we're good to go. Nothing super important here. But there we go. Brunson with Precious, and then we got Tatum with Harden. I got them locked in already. It's going to be $500 to win $985, so we can profit $485 if both of these cash. I'm hoping they do. But if they don't, then hopefully we can get it back in some other slips tonight. But regardless, let's go ahead and talk about these money lines. And let's talk about which games or which teams we think is going to win and lock in our no vig boost of the day. So quick disclaimer here. No vig right now. I may be redepositing in after today because I come over here. You can see portfolio. I locked in Boston for plus 100 I just put 175 bucks on them, and I'll show you why. Because it was better value on no vig, and I didn't have much in no vig, and it's so hard for me. I have like $6,000 in Thunder Pick. I don't enjoy withdrawing from Thunder Pick to put in other apps because you withdraw via crypto. So I try to like avoid having to do that. But I may just throw some more in no vig, and if I have to after tonight, I will. It is what it is. But I saved 25 bucks on here so I can do our no vig boost, and I put the rest of it on the Celtics tonight. So I got 175 on Boston to win $349. Nice plus $100 parlay, I think, or straight bet. I think that the Celtics are going to come out here and win with Tatum back. So that's going to be game number one. We can talk about it. We can jump into some details. We've already looked at injury news here. Most of the money right now is actually on the Celtics. Now let's talk about this Cleveland team, because this Cleveland team, coming off of a pretty strong win versus Detroit. I actually had Detroit money line here, and they sold me. So the Cleveland team is very good. This Cavs team is good and can win. They're at home. They definitely can beat the Celtics. I just like the Celtics for plus money with Tatum back. Now, I think with Tatum back, this team's going to be fired up. They have looked incredible this season, even without Jason Tatum, and they have their star back. Tatum is a star, man. We have to understand that. I mean, I know most of you guys already know this, but Tatum is a very good basketball player, and he brings so much to this team, and I did not expect this Celtics team to flourish the way they had this season without Jason Tatum. So with them doing that without Tatum, you bring Tatum back, and this Celtics team, I mean, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with this year, especially in the playoffs. So give me the Celtics here. That's why I like them, man. I think that they win this game. If you take them plus 1.5, obviously it's another good play. But I don't like taking 1.5 spreads, because the odds of them losing by 1 point, it's so hard to call that. But anyways, I just ran with the money line. You can play the spread, or you can play total. You can do what you want to do with that. But Celtics money line is what I'm going to take, or what I took, and you guys just saw that. Next game on the slate is going to be the Knicks versus the Lakers. This one's going to be in L.A. Lakers are plus 138 underdogs, and they're 3.5 on the spread and a 228.5 total. Most of the money right now going to be on the Knicks. The Knicks have been a much better team this season than the Lakers. I'm not going to say overall. I mean, the win rate's very close, very similar, but the Lakers are a team, man, that's just... they're so hard to call. They've won 4 of the last 5, but these are against weak teams. They're very good at beating weaker teams, but when you put them against any half-decent team, they just get beat. Got beat by the Celtics, by the Magic, by Phoenix, got beat by Denver. Like, they haven't been able to beat these playoff-caliber teams, and I don't know that they can do that again against the Knicks. I almost said the Knights. Who the heck is the Knights? But anyways, the Knicks have been really good. The Knicks can beat any team in the league, let's be honest, on any given day. Like, they're one of the better teams. And I don't see them getting beat by the Lakers. Now, Lakers are my team. I'm supporting them, but in terms of picking a team right here to win, the Knicks at minus 139, I'd run with them on that. There's not much that shows me that the Lakers are going to come out here and beat them. So give me the Knicks. LA can definitely upset them at plus 138. It's definitely not a bad bet, but I can't trust them. I got to run with New York tonight. Next game is going to be the Raptors versus the Mavericks. This is a game that I'm probably just going to fade myself. There's some injury news you got to wait for. Cooper Flagg, Bagley, and Dwight Powell. We got to wait for that for Dallas. Then you got to wait for Brandon Ingram from the Raptors. I think either way, I think the Raptors win this game. The Mavericks have been tanking. They've been getting pretty much busted up by every team they play. You see Memphis beat them by 20. So, I mean, this is not a team that I'm very confident in at all. They are a little bit more healthy now. Got most of their players back, but, I mean, they're still dealing with some injuries, and it's just not a game that I'm willing to put money on, so I got a big fade on that one. Next game's another good one. We got the Heat versus the Pistons. Miami is plus 108 underdogs at home. A 1.5 spread and 230.5 total. Right now, most of the money on the Pistons. Let's talk about this because this line is pretty much even odds, and people are going to look at this and be like, why the heck are Detroit even odds against Miami? Well, I'll tell you why. Detroit's on a 3-game loss streak, and they got beat last night by the Nets. Brooklyn, plus 800 underdogs, beat them last night. And this right here is one major reason that I tell you anything can happen in the NBA, and it can happen in the NFL, and it can happen in any professional sport. Every team is a team of nothing but pros. They can beat any other team on any given night if the team has a good night and the other team has a bad night. You have to understand that. So the Nets are obviously a far worse team than the Pistons, and they beat them last night in Detroit. So huge upset. Pistons on a back-to-back after getting beat by the Knicks. You know the feelings are going to be hurt. Last night they were missing Ausar Thompson, and they were missing Cade Cunningham. Now Cunningham is questionable once again. If Cunningham sits, if Cade and Ausar sit again tonight, I don't think that taking Miami is a bad play. Now, Miami's missing a lot of players too. Wiggins is questionable. Norman Powell is out. Jovic is out. And then Fontecchio is still out. So if Andrew Wiggins gets ruled out, I'm still running with Detroit here. I think Detroit's going to be the team that beats them, even if Cade sits. But if Cade sits and Wiggins plays, then I think you can look at Miami money line here. So there's some injury news you got to wait for. Realistically, I think Detroit's going to be the better team. Even on a back-to-back, I think they can win. But Miami is not a bad team at home. At home, Miami is a very strong team with a 65% win rate on the season. So very hard to beat Miami in Miami. And Hero's been popping off, so has Bam. So you can't count this team out. So I'm going to be paying attention to what happens with this. Not 100% what I want to run just yet. And until the injury news comes out, you're not going to see me lock in a slip on this one. We got plenty of time till 6 p.m. Eastern time to be able to figure this out. But yeah, just trust your gut on that one, I guess, because it could go either way. Next game is going to be the Wizards versus the Pelicans. Pelicans fully healthy. Wizards still dealing with injuries. They do have Trae Young back. It's plus 400. Do I think the Wizards are a bad bet at plus 400? No, I don't. Most of the money is going to be on the Pelicans. Pelicans are still the overall better team with all these injuries for Washington, but they do have an okay lineup in terms of playing against the Pelicans. Pelicans aren't a powerhouse by any means, but I got the Pelicans winning. Not going to bet on this game with the odds like that. If I were going to bet on it, it would just be Washington money line because I just think that they're definitely live dogs at plus 400, so I think the value there is really good. And if you want to take a risk on it, throw you a fifth of a unit or something on it and call it. But for me, it's not a game that I really want to throw too much bread on. Next game is going to be the Magic versus the Bucks. The Bucks are plus 144 at home. 3.5 spread, 219.5 total. A very low scoring game. Most of the money on Magic money line with most of the money on Bucks covering a 3.5 point spread. Looking at these two teams, the Magic are on a 3-game win streak. The Bucks have won 1 of their last 5. Anthony Black, Jonathan Isaac, and Jace Richardson right here for the Orlando Magic are questionable. Wagner's still out. Milwaukee has a questionable Kevin Porter and a questionable Giannis. So you have to look at these two teams. You have to wait for the injury news. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. If Kevin Porter and Giannis both sit, I don't see the Magic getting beat. Both teams are on back-to-backs. Magic had a strong win versus Minnesota last night, and then Utah ended up getting beat by the Bucks. So both teams are all coming off wins on a back-to-back. Obviously, the Magic are traveling from Minnesota, then they're traveling to Milwaukee. So it is it's going to be tougher on the Magic in that aspect. But I mean, still, it's not. If Giannis and Porter sit, I just don't see them beating the Magic tonight. So give me the Magic if they sit. If not, then I don't know what I want to do in that game. But it's just waiting for injury news in a lot of these games, guys. You can't make bets until you wait for the injury news. That's why sometimes I hate making videos early because it's so hard to make a video when the teams are like this. You just can't bet on it. Next game is going to be the Spurs versus the Rockets. This is a game that's tough to call. And I think the Spurs are the better team, but the Rockets at plus 200, the value that you have on this line is so good that it's hard not to just take Houston because the Rockets can beat anybody. The Rockets are one of the best teams in the league. Giving them at plus 200, I don't care if they're on the road or not, they can upset any team. So Spurs minus 200, 5.5 spread, 221.5 total, 81% of the money on Spurs money line, 79% on them covering a 6-point spread, which is crazy. Neither team on a back-to-back. The Spurs coming off of a win versus the Clippers. It was actually a very close game. The Rockets coming off of a win versus Portland, another close game. The game before that, they got beat at home by a Warriors team that should not have had any business beating them. Houston missing Steven Adams, Jayshawn Tate, and Fred VanVleet. Spurs missing Harrison Barnes, David Jones-Garcia, Plumlee, and Harrison Ingram is questionable. So nobody's missing anything specifically game-changing. When you look at this Spurs team and you look at the win streak that they're on right now, they've won every game out of their last 15 except for one. So they are 14-1 in the last 15 games. Losing to the Knicks in New York is the only loss they have, which is a strong loss, man. I mean, it's the Knicks at home. It's hard to beat that team at home, hard to beat that team anytime. So I can't fault them for that. But this team has been looking like dynamite. It's so hard to bet against them versus each other. The Rockets actually have been beating the Spurs in majority of games. Now, when you look at them this season, the Spurs beat the Rockets in their last game. Houston beat them the game before that, both these from this season. And then the third game this season, the Spurs won. So the Spurs have won 2 of the 3 games this season. I think only one of them has been in San Antonio. Yeah, one game was in San Antonio. So the Spurs beat them at home, then beat them once on the road. For the odds, it's hard to not take the Rockets. I can't bet on the Spurs at minus 200 here. I just can't. So I'm probably going to sprinkle some money on the Rockets. I don't think the Rockets are the better team. I will say that. I do think this Spurs team is just so good defensively. Good perimeter defense. You got Wemby as well. Wemby's obviously a good rim protector. They can score from across the board as well. So it's hard to bet against this Spurs team. They're a very, very strong team. Top 3 teams in the league to me. Them, OKC, and I don't know who I have as third, but the Spurs and OKC, to me, are the 2 best teams in the league. So it's hard to bet against them, but it's also hard to bet against the Rockets at plus 200. So take what you want with that information. I'm probably going to throw some money on Houston, though, and just hope for a miracle on that. But we'll see. So we got a few more games. First of all, let's talk about the Pacers, Trailblazers. I'm probably just going to fade that one. So you're probably not going to see me put much money on that one unless it's just going to be like some type of player prop. So I'm not going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the Bulls, and then we're going to talk about the Hornets. So let's talk about Chicago versus the Kings. This one's going to be in Sacramento. Sacramento is plus 133 underdogs. 2.5 spread, 234.5 total. Most of the money going to be on Kings money line, and then a 50-50 split on the spread on this one. Looking at these 2 teams, the Kings are on a 3-game loss streak. The Bulls have won 2 of their last 3, just coming off of a win versus Phoenix. A lot of players missing for the Bulls. A lot of players missing for the Kings. It's hard to get a read on this one. You just have to wait for injury news. You got to figure out what happens with Jabari Smith. You got to figure out what happens, or Jalen Smith. I mean, not Jabari Smith, but Jalen Smith. You got to figure out what happens with Buzelis, and you got to figure out what happens with Josh Giddey. Once you figure that out, you'll be able to make a better educated guess on this one. But for now, it's hard to make a call. If Buzelis and Giddey sit, give me the Kings. The Kings at plus 133 right now is a great value, and they can definitely win. But that team's also 14-50. Like, how do you bet on a team that's 14-50? They don't win very often. So if you don't think they win, then definitely don't play them. Next game, or last game on the slate we have is going to be the Hornets versus the Suns. Right now, Phoenix plus 170 underdogs, 4.5 spread, 218.5 total. Most of the money going to be on the Hornets. Now, the Hornets are sitting with a 32-32 record. They finally got to better than 500, and then what happens? They lose to Miami. Miami beats them in Charlotte. They're on the road tonight versus Phoenix. Phoenix is missing some key players, but it's the Suns at home, dude, that have been so hard to beat. They have a 62% win rate at home. The Hornets have actually been better on the road than they've been at home. 55% win rate on the road. And you look at them on the road, they have not lost a game in 10 games on the road. So you got to realize that as well. This Hornets team is very good. This Phoenix team missing Dylan Brooks, missing Jordan Goodwin, missing Mark Williams, and missing some key players. But it's hard to bet against the Suns, especially when the Hornets are coming off of a loss versus Miami, because Phoenix is just as good as Miami. So it's at minus 170 on the road, hard to take the Hornets here. I don't think I can put money on the Hornets because they sold the no-vig parlay last time. And we can take a look at that. The no-vig parlay we played the last video right here, we had a plus 250 right here for just the Knicks winning with a over on the total, which cashed. And then we had Charlotte money line. That was our $25 to pay out $150. And we lost because the Hornets got beat and they were minus 333 on the slip. So it's my heart hurts for that one because as a Hornets fan, it sucks that they were the one that sold me. So I'm probably just going to fade this one. We'll see. I may end up sprinkling some money on it. I don't know where I sit right now. It really just depends on how the rest of the day goes. If I cash every slip going up to that last game, then you're just not going to see me force a play on that by any means. But if I need to get my get back and I'm feeling confident about a slip, then maybe we do it. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump into our no-vig boost. If you haven't signed up for no-vig, code ACES gets you a free deposit. It gets you a deposit match and free VIP. We're going to come up here. We're going to click this Pro NBA or Pro Basketball Parlay Boost. We're going to claim it. They have a double-double one as well if you want to play that. But I'm going to play this one. And I'm going to run Celtics. So the Celtics are plus money. We're going to put them on there. I'm doubling down on them. I know that might sound dumb. I'm playing them with the Knicks. That's going to put us at plus 226. And then we can run a pretty strong favorite, I believe, and be okay on this one. So we can take we can't do the Pelicans. We could do the Spurs. Man, there's not very many strong favorites on here, are there? There's really not. I mean, I think Toronto wins. That puts us at plus 297. That is so staged, man. The odds here are so staged. Like, they know. All right. You're not going to convince me that stuff like this. Like, when you play these in a parlay on no-vig, the odds change. They get progressively worse. And when you click that one, it's just enough to make you not be able to play the parlay boost. I know how that works. I know what they do. It's definitely intentional. I mean, Toronto minus 1.5 or something. Like, I don't think you can play that either. Yeah, we can't play that. So Raptors just isn't going to work. we got to run like another close one. We can maybe take plus money for Boston or something, or plus points for Boston. It's hard to run the Magic here as well. Response not successful. Okay, I don't know what that means, but we'll see in a minute. All right. This is what I'm going to do. Maybe Portland. Hold on. What's Portland put us at? Plus 302. I guess we're going to have to dive into this Portland game and make sure nobody's injured. Is Abdia playing? Abdia's questionable. Chris Murray, questionable. Nembhard, probable. Siakam, probable. Man, the Pacers can beat the Trailblazers is the problem. At home, they've lost 2 in a row. I'm going to throw Portland in here, I think. I think that's just what we're going to do. I was about to just risk it and take the Spurs. And we could run with the Spurs and then take Houston money line later to kind of hedge it. But that would suck if Houston won and then chalk this is the only one that chalked this. That would be pretty devastating. Unless we can get the Spurs for like plus money. Or for plus points, on the spread. Let's see. Yeah, we get Spurs plus 4.5. Let's do that. We're going to do that. I like that better. Spurs plus 4.5. 25 wins 128. I'm locking it in right now. Geolocation, please verify. Okay, there we go. We got that. We got Boston money line. We got the Knicks, and you can see how the odds changed. Knicks went from minus 130 to minus 150. Boston went from plus money to minus 104. Spurs went minus 383, which it shows minus 388 right there. So you can see how the odds changed. So Spurs plus 4.5. Knicks money line. Boston money line for our no vig boost. I actually really like that. I'm glad I checked the spread right here on the Spurs team. I really wanted to run Toronto money line. I'm okay with this. It's a good slip. I like it. Lock it in if you like it. Fade it if you don't. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see y'all in tomorrow's video.